How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with Mega Ruler 31. Mega, welcome back. We're back together.
What, me? Welcome back. Wait, hold. I wasn't the one that was gone last week. How are you?
Yes, I was in Columbus, Ohio for the Memorial Tournament. Really fun stuff there if you're a big golf fan. But yeah, it was a long weekend. Didn't have the opportunity to get to talk to you about the races last week, so I'm excited to get back to it. We are in Sonoma we're in Sonoma, California for the truck video. We're doing the truck Doordash 250, and then later, probably this weekend, we'll be doing the breakdown for the Cup video as well. This is the truck's at a road course. It's going to set up to be something different. I don't think they've raced here at Sonoma. Mega, talk to us a little bit about what to expect today.
Well, I think it's been like 2008 since they've raced at Sonoma. It's usually always been like Xfinity and Cup. And Cup returned here last year. They didn't do it the COVID year. But the configuration of the track you're going to see is a little bit different. They went back to the classic configuration, which they haven't raced since 2018. In 2018, around turn 4, I think it is, they created like an inner loop that made the track a little bit trickier and longer, and they took out the carousel turns and the chute. This year, that is back. So the Cup's going to have like more laps to race. Trucks, it really doesn't affect. There's 75 laps here. So it's not like there's a lot of fast laps that are going to be led, and there's not a lot of dominating points for laps led. So place differential is going to be the key here. We're shooting this on Saturday morning. We've had practice. We haven't had qualifying. So again, this is a speculation video, which I know some of you really like because we've actually hit on some really cool things that have been really close when the real results come out. Some of you hate because it's not the actual information. So what we always do is when the real things come out, like probably around 2:30, 3 o'clock, check back to this video in the comments. And if there are some, major changes or like somebody completely bombs qualifying and is like a lock play, then, we'll give you some thoughts in the comments. So the value of coming back and checking the video out later is always there. So basically the guys that are in baby blue are guys that are above average in road courses. It doesn't mean that they're elite. The guys in yellow are kind of guys that could be considered maybe like road course ringers. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good because all three of them are in kind of questionable equipment here. So how I built this model is I looked at how they did at the Circuit of Americas. It was the first road course that they ran and the only one this year. But they ran in Gateway and they've ran in Martinsville. So both of those are kind of comparable tracks to look at just because of braking and shifting and stuff on short track. So they're qualifying there. I use their qualifying time as their practice, like where they came in position there, and kind of came up with another formula to figure out like starting position. So again, these projections aren't accurate or anything. It's just a guideline, but just kind of looking at how they did at COTA, weighing that the most, how they did a couple other shorter tracks, and how they did in practice kind of gives us a glimpse of what we might be able to expect here to kind of tell you like what kind of play we think they're going to be. There's a lot of Cup guys mixed in here also, which I thought there'd be more Xfinity guys because they're off for the week, but it should be an interesting in making your builds. So if you're ready, let's go for it.
Yeah, didn't look like many Xfinity drivers made the trip out to California. So some of the crossover Cup to truck. I think this is going to be an exciting race. We got a lot of like you said, Cup guys in it. Let's get to it. It is a Kyle Busch race. Kyle Busch race in trucks usually splits the field in cash. You're either pro Busch for cash or just totally fading him in hopes that he does not do well because he garners a ton of ownership. Mega, where do you stand on Kyle Busch today?
Well, right now he's not in my first cash build, but there is potential he does get in there because we're looking at place differential. His his practice speed was only 13th among the drivers. At COTA, he was up there, but then I have to balance too. He's been kind of underwhelming this year. Like, I don't think he's really dominated or done well in any of the truck races that he's entered. So he's always a threat. Obviously, that's why he's like in first position here. Potentially, I think he's a cash play, but I'm not going to say he's a lock for cash.
Yeah. Kyle Busch finished third at Coda. I'm usually the guy that'll jump on board with Kyle Busch because of, the potential of just complete dominance. And if you don't have them, then you're kind of done for the day. I think today I might be split. I think I'm going to go, with 6 lineups here in the 10, I'm going to go 3, go 3 in, 3 out and see if that works. But, the 1,200 price tag isn't as, detrimental to your lineup as it used to be with the 1,400 or even 1,500 or 15,000, excuse me, that you would see, price tag wise. So I think there's a way we can fit Kyle Busch, obviously place differential, and hey, he might not qualify well with the way the speed is working out, and that would make him a lock if he qualified in like the teens, because that place differential is definitely going to be there by come race end. So we'll see what happens with this qualifying, but definitely on the radar for a split day cash for Kyle Busch. John Hunter Nemechek in the 4-10-6. He's been racing really well lately.
Not last week.
Well, yeah, not last week. I remember a lot of fuzziness for me last week on what happened. So do remind me if there's something I miss. But
he got, I believe he either wrecked or got wrecked last week. But Coda wasn't bad. Like he was 12th there. He was 7th at Martinsville. He was 9th over here in practice. So I think he's a GPP because again, there's going to be some place differential, but he's just had so much trouble this year with like screwing up pit road speeds and tire issues. It's almost like he's driving the cup or something. It's just, I don't know. It's just really scary. And I think we're going to say this about like all these like high priced guys. Unless they're on the pole, anybody starting in the top 5 that like I think we gotta go with Chastain, because Chastain's next, and Chastain's the one that scares me the most. He's the second highest one, and he's a super aggressive one. He's really good at road courses. He had a 3 average at Coda. He was good at Gateway. He was good at Martinsville. Like he's been racing in the truck series just like Kyle Busch, but been more successful. He was 3rd fastest in qualifying in practice. So I think that if he starts in like the top like 3 or 4, he could get out there and completely like dominate this race and lead a lot of laps, which makes it really dangerous for John Hunter Nemechek or Kyle Busch, because if they start 2nd, 3rd, or 4th and they stay there the whole race, even if they win the race, what do you really accomplish at their price point without getting any laps led?
True. Absolutely. And John Hunter Nemechek at Coda, he wasn't part of the top 10 in either stage. He just miraculously shows up at the end at Coda, and he was 2nd. So average running position, not that high. And I could definitely see the route for him to fail today. With the team having troubles, throughout the year, maybe not as much as late, but throughout the year, the 4 team has had some troubles. But yeah, your thoughts on Chastain? Practice looked really good. So definitely going to be a guy we consider as a prime play when it comes to qualifying and where he qualifies. If he gets the pole, I think that makes him a really strong play for cash. Your thoughts on Ben Rhodes at 9,800?
I really like him. He dominated the dirt race. He's been really good on all the comparable tracks here. The only thing that kind of concerns me with him compared to, like, he hasn't won this year, so he's okay with that. But Busch and Chastain are not racing for a cup title or for a truck title, so they can employ whatever strategy they need to get place differential and track position. With cautions and stages and things like that. Rhodes is racing and might need to get those stage points, so that might give him a disadvantage. But I like the price at 9.8. I like what I've seen with him, and he's one that I think that even if he does have to pick, can pass a lot of people to get back up there.
Ben Rhodes finished 4th at Coda, was in the top 10 for all 3 stages, or all 2 stages. So he looked like a pretty strong play at 9,800. You're getting a severe discount, maybe a sneaky 3rd driver in your lineup.
Yep.
If he qualifies poorly, that can maybe potentially finish inside that top 5. So I do like Ben Rhodes today. Tyler Ankrum, the number 16, 7,800. I'm kind of stumped here. Do you have any thoughts here on Tyler Ankrum?
He's been good, but he's not a road course guy. So I think he's a GPP here. Again, it all depends on where he qualifies. If he screws up in qualifying and starts like 20th, then definitely he's going to be somebody to lock into your cash. But I think he's a guy that like kind of runs in the teens in this type of track. I think he excels more at like the mile and a half or something like that. So I think I'm not really going to have any shares of him today.
Yeah, definitely going to depend on where he starts. He did finish inside the top 10 at Coda, and he was inside the top 10 at Coda at the first stage, qualified pretty well as well at Coda. So we'll see what happens. Could be just a fit at the Coda Circuit of Americas. Kaz Grala, definitely someone on my radar today in the O2, 8,100, probably, I would say, a stronger play than Tyler Ankrum. Would you agree?
Yeah, he's got a road course pedigree. The only issue potentially could be that like he's only 21st in practice speed here, and 81's a little bit expensive. The equipment's decent, should hold up. He's a good driver, a lot of experience. So if he fits my build, then he'd be like last guy in. But I think he's going to be kind of in no man's land. I think I'm going to be high and looking for lower guys, and I don't think he's going to really fit my build.
Yeah, 8,100 definitely begs you to stretch your lineup for him to fit in. If you're going with a balanced build and you think Grala has a chance to finish in the top 5 today, I think it's strong. But yeah, unless he qualifies outside like the top 30, then it's hard for me to make him fit in my lineup. Same with Matt Crafton here at 7,700, and I definitely don't think of Crafton as a road course driver.
He actually hasn't been that bad. He's probably one of the few drivers that actually have driven at Sonoma just because he's been in the series for so long. Gateway in Martinville, his numbers were good. Coda had a little bit of a setback there, 20th in. So I think he might be one that we look at as 77 that might have good place differential if he does qualify as poorly as he practiced in anywhere below 15th. I think again he's because I'm not playing Kyle Busch, I can, if I wanted to, put him in my cash lineup and get the rest of the guys that I want to. Again, he'd be last man in. But again, it remains to see if like he actually ends up there when all said and done.
True. All right, Parker Kligerman, definitely a good road course driver in the 75 Henderson Motorsports. 9,100 is a very expensive price tag. DK is up to speed on the thoughts of a good finish from Kligerman. Did well at Coda. You like him today?
I like him just because I've seen him blow through. Like there's so many times like during COVID where they didn't qualify and he wouldn't race often, so he'd have to start in the back and he'd be like back up in the top 10 within probably like 10 laps. So very good at passing here. Did well at Coda, so I like it. I think he's like a light version of like the top group here at 91, and I think it'll be popular at that price tag.
You think they're gonna try to squeeze him in those builds today, or maybe he's like the driver 2?
He'd probably be driver 3 if people are going with 2 upper guys, and you can squeeze him in and get some of the 6 and 5K guys in there, and then you're all.
Yeah, you're gonna eliminate that 8K, 7K range and try to just get Busch and Chastain and Rhodes. Yeah, and then Kligerman would be your third guy in. Okay, that makes sense. Yep. I like this. Kligerman 9,100 definitely on the board here for us. Stuart Friesen 8,700. Did well at Coda. He's done well this year. He's had a really solid year. He has a win. Any love for Stuart Friesen?
Really surprised at how poor his practice was. It wasn't horrible. He's like middle of the road at like 17th there, but good at Coda, good at Gateway, has a win on another track, and he's a dirt guy. So I think everything translates again. 87 again, it's kind of no man's land if you can get to it, or that's going to bring up your bottom. So you're not going to have to punt as much with some of these lower guys. You might get some more of the 7K plays, and there's a really good one that I really like that we're going to get to in a few seconds here, that I think you're not going to get to if you play like the higher guys. So he's a guy that you could plug in to potentially get there.
Yeah, definitely. Friesen had a miraculous year so far for that team, and I'm definitely going to have him in the player pool. All right, next up is the big question mark of the week, and that is Carson Hocevar. Last week I did see the highlights of Hocevar's wreck. Looked really scary. Just got tagged. I mean, I thought the guy was dead when I saw the first highlight. Just crazy. But he had a severe ankle injury, I believe, is what we're hearing. And he is, going to start the race, but Suarez is on standby to continue the race. But as long as Hocevar starts the race, he will accrue points for both NASCAR and DraftKings. So as long as Hocevar starts the race and not Suarez, you will get points for wherever Hocevar's truck finishes.
Yeah, I think it's a dangerous situation, and I love Hocevar. And like I said, I've been playing him every single week because I know that first win is just so close. He's going to get it, but just the discomfort he's going in, and Suarez is not the same configuration as him. So like when he hops in the truck, I mean, there's going to be an adjustment period. If that does happen, they might lose a lap or so here, and it's not like it's kind of hard to get like laps back. I mean, laps are super long, but so it might not happen. But anyways, I'm just avoiding the situation. There's too much question marks on it. I mean, if you want to take a flyer in a GPP, that's fine, but cash, absolutely not.
Yep, I would agree. Definitely has the intangibles usually in a normal situation to finish well here. But yeah, like you said, a lot of question marks. There could be moments where he's in severe pain and he's like, I can't go, and now I got a pet, and now we got to switch drivers, and there you could lose laps. I mean, it's hard to get laps back at Sonoma once you go down. So yeah, out on him. Next up, Zane Smith at 10-3. Definitely a driver you take. Won at Coda. Just amazing driver this year.
Yeah, he's done well with everything, but I don't know if I'm like, if I can fit him in my builds today, because I'd rather take like Chastain, and I think a 9K guy. So he's becoming my favorite truck driver just because of like how awesome he's been this year. But I'll just have to see like where he qualifies and everything. Like if he's on the pole, I'll take him. But if it's going to be one of those situations like Busch Nemechek, where they're not on the pole and they might be in the top 4 all day and could potentially win the race, but really aren't going to get you anything, then with no place differential, I think I might not be out on him. So
see, I love Zane Smith. He was first in the first stage at Coda, first in the first stage at Coda, first in the first and in second stages. So he absolutely dominated Circuit of Americas. I think he could bring some of that to Sonoma. I think there's a reason why he has the second most points projected for you. Oh, third most. But yeah, I forgot we got another guy to talk about later. But yeah, definitely going to play Zane Smith. Just incredible year. Grant Infinger at 8-3. Not the first name I thought of when I thought of road course.
He has had some success, but it's been earlier on. We're just gonna move on from him because he just needs it. If he starts worse than 20th, then he's playable. If not, then pass.
Yeah, I don't see much I like for Grant Infinger. Christian Eckes at 9,300.
Fastest in practice. Really good numbers. Everything's top 10 in the comparable tracks. He's number 1 rank in speed composite overall. So at
nice
93
sleeper today.
Yeah, at 93 he but he's not known as a road course guy, so that's the only drawback. But I could definitely see him as a sleeper pick here. So he's the first guy in my GPP lineup.
How did he do last week? Because he was in a hot streak heading into last week.
He had a 5th overall. I'm
just curious. I can look. I should have looked it up, but I mean,
okay, well, you go look that up. And Harrison Burton's the next guy. Like I can't play him in a truck here. It's a decent truck for David Gillian, but he's never been a really good road course guy. All of his metrics are like in the 20s. So like if he starts in like the 30s or something potentially, but I just don't like him.
Dude, Corey Heim won last week.
Yeah, it was a luck box.
What madness was
Yeah,
this race?
it was a disaster of a race.
Well, Christian Eckes finished second last week, so the hot streak continues. I think he should be played today.
Okay.
Nice little sleeper. Maybe, just maybe, could be a small bet placed on Eckes today. Harrison Burton. You talked about Harrison Burton?
Yeah, I said absolutely not.
I don't play him in Cup. Probably won't play him in Truck.
Yep. Now Kraus is the one here that I thought was really good in the 7K range. That's hard to get to in most builds, but if you do play down and play like an Eckes or a Klingerman or a Stuart Friesen, you can get to him. I really like it. 12th at average running position Dakota, 9th, 11th. Like he had 10th in practice here. So I think that at 72, he sets up to be a really, really solid play. Could be 4 or 5x.
Yeah, and the stage 2 at Coda, he was third. This is the moment you play Kraus. For all the times that we tell you, nah, Kraus, nah. The road course is where you jump on board. 7,200, not that expensive. If you want to try to squeeze him in there, if he qualifies poorly, or even if he qualifies like 18th, I still think that makes him a good play. Tanner Gray, 7K. I'm not sure your thoughts. Did you talk about Tanner Gray yet?
No, he's in a good truck. It's a GPP. He just needs to start 20th there, or better there. So, but the next play I really like is Timmy Hill here, and I have him as the prime. And I know his projection is only 17, but just ignore that because it's at 6,100. He's a decent road course driver. If he starts like 25th on back, he was 19th in practice. He was 17th in Coda. I'm not looking at the other like 2 short tracks as much here. So I think you need value today, and I think he's one of the good values. So
yeah, average run 17th, ended up finishing 21st. Timmy Hill makes for a really solid play. Definitely a guy that you want from the back of the pack to finish a good 10 spots from where he starts. Hopefully he does qualify poorly. Chris Wright is a road course driver, 4,800.
GPP, if he starts towards the back, I just really haven't seen, like, I don't have him in my notes as like a really, really good guy on road course. I know he was like 20, it's average in Coda, but
everything I've heard, he's a road course driver.
Okay, well, he's super. Okay, I'll make him blue. I can't do it right now, but I will. But he's super cheap. So if he starts anywhere 25th on back, I think he's definitely playable.
Yeah, finished 15th at the Circuit of Americas. I think it makes for a decent play. I mean, 4,800, you can really find yourself in a position where Kyle Busch and Ross Chastain lineups, you'll need someone like Chris Wright. Now, he definitely has to qualify poorly for this to happen, because all you're banking on here is place differential, but he has a little bit of road course pedigree, and at 4,800, because of just past races of just disaster unfolding, that price tag's really low. So DraftKings not up to speed here. He is in a Nice Motorsports truck, so there is a little bit of money backing him up today, so I think he can make for a decent play. Brad Perez, road course ringer for Riem Brothers. Any love?
Not really. With the equipment, we gotta go speed around here. We're gonna start running out of time. So Chase Purdy is, I think it's a GPP depending on where he qualifies. But Chandler Smith is my prime play down here, and I know he's probably going to qualify much better than 21st. But just look at his numbers. Everything's in green here. And I usually hate playing him, but this is one of the times, like we said with Derek Krause, this is the time to play him. 6th in qualification. He's just like, all his numbers have just looked really, really good. And 96, I really like the price tag.
Yeah, finished 5th at Coda, and he was 5th at the end of stage 2 as well. Haley Deegan, Colby Howard will go both of them back to back.
Yeah, I think depending on where they qualify, playable, but nothing as a priority. So
Alex Bowman in the 7.
But he's not really a road course guy here, and the truck is okay. They have been putting Cup guys in here, and he was 2nd in practice speed. But again, I think he's going to get up there, and other guys are going to he's going to be that whole trap thing where starts in the top 5, maybe finishes in the top 5, doesn't lead any laps, doesn't pay off his price, not in the optimal.
Yeah, he finished 25th at Coda. Didn't have any top 10s at the end of any stages either. He raced pretty well with average run position, but Bowman didn't finish well in either of the stages or the race. Lawless Allen at 5,700.
Yes, love him. Not a great guy, but in this type of track, he's been 18th. So if he qualifies below 18th at 5,700, lock him in.
Yeah. We have Spencer Boyd,
No.
Jack Wood, and Dean Thompson.
Spencer Boyd is a no for me. Just not really good. Jack Wood and Dean Thompson, if they qualify 30th, possibly, but not super interested in them. There's better value plays, like you said, Chris Wright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm on board for the Chris Wright. Dean Thompson, no. Jack Wood, no. Definitely not Boyd. Matt DiBenedetto at 7,400. This is a really cheap price tag.
Yeah, he's got experience here, but he did horrible in the truck series. He was only 19th average rank position at Coda. Did a little bit better last week. Like, he's been doing better, but like they've been mechanical failures with this truck too. So
yeah,
I don't know. I have him as a cash play because I like the price and I like the pedigree, but I don't know if he's a priority, and he's priced in no man's land.
Yeah, at Coda, he had rear gear issues, so definitely proceed with caution on Matt DiBenedetto. Circle back on someone like Kraus in that price range. Next up, we have Ty Majeski at 8,900 for Thor Sport 66. Any love, Ty?
Not at 8,900. He was 31st average running position. He struggled last week at Gateway, at GPP.
Yeah, not on my radar after the Coda finish either. Definitely going to go with Kligerman in that position. Blaine Perkins, no. Now, Todd Bodine. Speak on Todd Bodine.
He's a veteran. He used to run here. He's always been really good at trucks. This truck is the same truck that Stuart Friesen is. It's his second truck on his team, so it's a solid truck. He's been doing iRacing and simulators to try to get ready for this. So at 67, I really like him. I flirted with him in the prime play, but it was a little too expensive. But I think 24th in practice, if he starts 25th or worse, I think just being a veteran and knowing this, he can get past some guys. I see a top 15 for him.
Yeah, I like that call. I'm going to be on board with Todd Bodine at 6,700. Next up is Austin Dillon, 75.
Not a road course guy.
Clearly practice.
yeah. This truck is a great truck. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's here for the practice.
Yep, not going to be on my radar. Jade Buford, Mason Felipe.
Jay Buford's an Xfinity guy. He hasn't raced in the last couple of races because he kind of lost his ride in Xfinity. They've been putting cup guys in there, but he is a road course guy. But this 33 truck is probably one of the worst ones next to the Glory to God truck, which is the next guy up. So the drivers are good on road courses, but will the equipment be able to last, especially with all the turns and stuff? I don't know. He did well at Coda. So I think Buford potentially is somebody I would consider in a GPP. Felipe, I'm not interested in, and Colin Garrett at the bottom is not in the player, is in the player pool. The dude lost.
I believe Colin Garrett's in the field.
Well, he somebody has to drive the 30 truck, and who's the dude that? He was in the 12 last year, and he got Tate Fogelman. He got he lost his ride, so like he's not even allowed to race in the 30 this week. So speculation is Colin Garrett might take it, but still I'm not interested.
Yeah, no. Yeah, what in the world? All right. Anyway, that'll wrap things up here for the player by player, driver by driver breakdown. A little bumpy on my first ride back, but I'm glad that we got together this morning to talk a little bit about the trucks. Should be a fun race today. Night's time for us, going to be about 4:00 for them. So should be a fun race, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and comment below with any questions you may have. As Mega said earlier, circle back. There might be more information that we post or any kind of other surprises that make someone a lock that we can try to get to you. But if you don't see anything on the video, then you can join us on our Discord by signing up through our website, FSIDFS.com, or on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. That is a good way to reach us with live chat all throughout the day. For any questions that you have, that is the simplest way to do it. So, Mega, thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for breaking this down with us, and good luck to you on your race today. And everybody enjoy Sonoma.